In this video, we have the Losi Promoto-MX. We are going to be working in underneath this cover to change out the battery connector from the one that comes on it from the factory to one of these XT90s, because that is what I run. First step in this is going to be getting these two screws off to get this side panel out. With the cover off, we can see why this is not as straightforward as you might think. Losi actually has this plug mounted to the chassis of the motorcycle. Unlike what you'll see maybe with other surface RC vehicles, is these plugs are sometimes loose and all you have to do is solder on a new connector. But because Losi has this whole different unit here, it means not only do we need to take this cover off and resolder the plugs, but the XT90 is not going to not going to screw back in underneath that. We need something different. Honestly, my plan was that I was going to take this off and I was going to design a whole different 3D printed mount and then offer it out there to the community to use. And Scale Audio Solutions beat me to it. I hadn't even gotten this vehicle out of the box yet, and they have already designed, and where you can buy for $2, you can buy the 3D print file and then print these yourself, and they offer it for a variety of plugs. Clearly I got the one for the XT90, but they offer it for Traxxas and Deans and XT60s and XT90s. They offer it for all sorts of different plugs, so shout out to Scale Audio Solutions for getting on this before the vehicle even came out. I still need to get this plug off, so we're going to go ahead and start there. And this cover then pops off, and again now you can see lower and outer cover. So it means we need to get around to the other side of the bike and sneak our tool through to go ahead and take off this inner cover. With this other side cover off, now you can get your tool in to get the two mounting screws away. I have the new bottom plate now that I 3D printed from Scale Audio Solutions. I'm going to go ahead and pop it back on there, just screw it into these upper two screws. On the other side here now, you can clearly see that new 3D printed part bolted on just beautifully. Now the part that I believe is probably going to be about the biggest pain in the tail without taking the rider off in this other panel is honestly just having enough room to get to these wires. But I have this little hold down clamp that I use a lot for soldering, and it looks like I can pull out just enough wire to get in there and solder on this new plug. Now, if you are new to these IC5 or IC3 plugs, then these newest ones come with this little center tip, and over here it has the gray wire. Now, you don't actually need that, so of course as I go to the XT90, it's not going to have that there at all for me to use it. That is for your battery voltage sensing that goes to your transmitter so that you can see the battery voltage in the vehicle as you're running and get pre-warning that it's getting low. Well, you're going to lose that. If you change this plug out, you're going to lose that, but that's okay. The vehicle will still run. You can either snip this wire off if you think that you're never going to use it, or you can just zip tie it back up underneath the factory paneling here, and it will be just fine. I will note with these connectors that it looks like the spacing might be just slightly off on these XT90 holders. It looks like my wires are a little bit closer together than what is designed here. Not a big deal. You can actually rotate the plug in that XT90 to try to give yourself a little bit of extra room. And it may not be a issue with a 3D printed part. It may literally be like I have a knockoff XT90 or something like that. But what I'm going to have to do is come in here and open up both of these holes. It looks like I'm going to have to do it on the chassis side as well in order to let the wires pass through appropriately. With that all done, this plug actually just snaps right in here, no issue whatsoever. And then we can pop the outer cover on and use the factory screws to hold that on. Just like that, it looks great. With this now all buttoned up, works good, fits in there just beautifully tight, we can go ahead and get this other panel on there, and then we are back up and running. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have any questions about what I did or how I did it, please leave them down in the comments below. And shout out to Scale Audio Solutions for providing this super cool mount to make life really easy for those that don't run the IC5 connectors. So hey, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.